Hi, Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers. Today, we're doing the install on the 2022 Jeep Gladiator. It's a black Ostrich diamond stitch for the insert, Kryptek Typhon for the trim. Awesome looking set. Let's do this. So we're getting started on this install. Again, it's the 2022 Jeep Gladiator Mojave. Now, this particular set that we're installing actually was installed on this same customer's 2020 Jeep Gladiator, but what happened is he ended up trading in that and got a 2022, and it just so happens that all the seat styles are the same, and so we were able to take the covers off after 2 years and then put these new covers on, or put these covers on these new seats. So we're gonna clean them up a little bit today and just swap them over to this 2022. And the first thing that we're gonna do is the hard console lid cover. Now this is the trim. The trim on this set of seat covers is the Kryptek Typhon. And so we'll be putting this on. Again, this is about a 2-year-old cover. As you can see, it was on his old rig, and now we're getting this on his brand new 2022. So we'll be putting this on. Now, this is the front right here with this elastic piece right here, and there's a little circle cut out right here for the locking console right there. And what you're going to want to do is stretch this towards the back and cap this around the back side back here. And it just takes a little maneuvering to get this on the back. Get it to pop over these corners back here. There we go. So now I just got that corner right there. Now we just need to get this one back here over. Okay, great. So I got that one right here. So it's kind of unique that on this Jeep, well, at least it's just unique that in the last 2 years the seats haven't changed much. Now there's different seat styles, and that's not always going to be the case. So if you have a vehicle and you're trading it in and you had the old covers, most of the time the covers are not going to fit your new vehicle. So I will say that most of the time that's not going to be the case where you can just swap them over to your new vehicle. But this is unique that this one we're able to do it on. Okay, perfect. So we got that cover on. That looks nice there. Now this next step that we're going to do is the driver side bottom cover. Now we're doing the driver bottom, and I have the driver bottom cover. It has the driver side pistol holster, and then also it is labeled, so you can pull that label off. Now you'll notice as I'm putting these covers on, these are, again, 2 years old, so there's some dirt and some grime on them. And what we're gonna do is get these on, but then clean them off, and we'll show you some of the cleaning that we're gonna do. And we'll even do a separate little video about how to clean the seat covers here in a second. But what I'm gonna do is just get this lined up right here. And a little tip for you here is when you're pushing this through right here, what you want to do is go to the cardboard box that they came in, rip off one of the side sections there. We're going to take this cardboard and push it through like that, okay? And then what we're going to do is take this cover and we're going to slide it over that cardboard, because if you don't do that, it can stick down to the cloth down at the bottom and be really tough to get through, okay? But if you do this like that, and then you can push that through to the back side of the seat. Now the other thing I need to show you is that we need to unhook a felt flap on the back side of the seat here, and we'll do that next. So we need to take this felt off right here, and it's just hooked on by these elastics underneath the seat. And so you just reach underneath and unhook them. They're just hooked up onto these little plastic clips. And so you just take that off right there. And now that that's through, now you can see that cardboard that I've pushed through right here. Okay? Now, you don't want to push through too far that cardboard because you do have airbag cords and another cable over here that you don't want to put too much pressure on, okay? But what you're going to do is just put that through right there, and now we can push that seat cover through a little bit more, and then we can grab that on the back side right here. So before we pull this all the way back, what I need to do is take this section right here, that's for the lumbar adjustment, and again, I went underneath this piece right here. Okay, so what we need to do is take this cover and work this around this lumbar adjustment knob. Okay, and this is a tighter piece right here, so you have to be careful and just kind of take your time as you're doing it. So I almost have it halfway. Once I get it over the halfway mark, we'll be home free. This little white plastic tool does come with the seat cover, so you will have this to do it with. Just slowly working this around there. Get that covered. Definitely over the halfway mark. Now we can finish pulling this around. Okay, and then this is gonna all get tucked in underneath. There we go. Okay, perfect. So now we have that all finished right there. Now we're gonna be good to kind of finish pulling this back in nice and tight right there. This is a string, just this view right here, and this string is gonna go underneath the seat and tie off to the other side of the string, or the other string on the other side over there. Okay, now we're just gonna finish this back piece, pulling that back right there. Now that I have this pulled through right here, I'm gonna remove this cardboard. And we're just gonna finish pulling this back where it's nice and snug. And you wanna check the front to make sure you got it pulled back as far as it needs to be. You want that front side to really be nice and snug and not have any loose spots on the front side there. Okay, so we got that pulled through right there. Now the next step that we're gonna do is this middle strap is gonna go down to a solid bar and then come back to itself. Okay, so that's often a question. And I'm gonna go down. I have a solid bar. It's like a spring underneath here, underneath the seat. And we'll try to show you another angle in a second to kind of see what's going on underneath the seat here. But either way, I'm going down to a solid spring bar underneath here. You gotta hook around it. And then we're gonna go back to this buckle. Right there, okay? So now I went to a solid bar underneath there. And this is just helps to make sure the seat never slides forward. The seat cover never slides forward, and go through this middle buckle right there first, and then I'm gonna go through the outside buckle. Or sorry, the middle slot, then the outside slot. Right there. we'll take that and strap that down nice and tight. Okay, so that's the middle one. Now these outside ones are gonna pass forward to those buckles on the front side, and then we're gonna strap those up. Now before we finish those straps I was just talking about, we're gonna take this string, this is the outside string, we're gonna pass this right underneath the seat, right here, okay? And that is gonna go underneath the seat but above these bars, and that's gonna tie off to the other string that we have on the other side. I'll show you this string right here. So this string right here, this one's just gonna go straight back. Although I will check it, and if there's a way to go underneath the seat, go straight across a little bit better, that may be better. Either way, the main goal is as your seat moves forward and back, okay, as you're adjusting the seat forward and back, you want to try to avoid going behind, well, you obviously don't want to go on these bottom rails down here, because then the string is going to get caught as you move forward and back. You want to stay as close to the seat as possible. If needed, then you could go, you know, behind like this rail right here, but this is a pretty clean spot for me to go straight underneath right there, and I can tie it straight across. Now what we need to do is tie these strings off, and so I passed this one right underneath the seat where I was showing you there. Now this one, instead of going behind the rail, which you totally could, you could run that right here, and that'd be a fine spot for it, but I was able to go on the same opposite side that I put the other string on, which is just underneath the seat, kind of it's a space that's right underneath the seat kind of base of the cushion right there and above the rail right there. And it's just nice, clean, straight across spot where I could tie these off right here. Okay, so what I'll do now is tie a little noose in one side here. And just a little loop. There we go. Okay. So there's my loop on one side. Now what I'm going to do is with this one, I'm going to come through right here, looped it through. Okay. So you can see that. And then what I'm going to do is just pull this, pull that snug. And just tie that up underneath the seat right there. Now this is kind of a hard spot to show you exactly how I'm tying this. I usually do it kind of in a kind of like a half hitch, where you can untie it and loosen it up pretty easily if I ever need to retighten these up for any reason down the road, or the customer wants to take the covers off. So now we have that tied up, so that's a string. And now what we're going to do is take these two straps on the outsides here. We already did that middle one. We're going to take these two straps and pass them up towards the front, and then put those through the front buckles. Now we're going to do these buckles. So I got this strap passed up, and when I pass this strap up to the front, I try to avoid as many electrical cables as possible, or cords underneath there, to not put pressure on them. And now I'm going through that middle strap, or sorry, the middle slot, and then this outside slot right here to lock that into place. That's the one that has the teeth on it, is that outside slot right there. Now when I tighten these down, what I really like to do is compress with one hand at the top right there, and then pull back with the other. And if you have a vehicle, if this isn't your vehicle that you're watching and it's different install, and your buckles are towards the back instead of the front, then you could have somebody come up on the front side and push down on the cushion, or even sit down on the cover. It help give more pressure. And that actually takes some pressure off of the buckle system itself, and then it just takes out the extra slack in the seat right there. So this is kind of a hard shot to show you, but just showing you where here's the strap and buckles. Here's these other strap and buckle. Those are the outside ones. Here's that middle one that we went to a solid bar and then back to itself right there. And there's our string going straight across, tied off. And now what you can do is take all of your excess straps and strings, and you can just tuck them up underneath, or around your metal springs down there, and that just kind of gets everything out of place, or out of sight and kind of off the ground. With the driver bottom done, now it's time to do the driver backrest. First step is to remove the headrest. Take this off. You have to press in both buttons on the side right here to get this off, and it's a little tall, so you gotta recline that seat back and pull this headrest out right there. Now we can put that to the side, and then get your driver backrest cover. Okay, now this is the driver backrest cover, and it is an open back pattern. So you can see right here, this all is gonna go, there's an open back because there's this grid system, this MOLLE grid system on the back side here. And so you can see this grid system right here. So it's gonna tuck around that into that plastic right there. Now, if you do order the special ops package, it'll still be open back, but then the special ops package is designed that it'll be sewn on a kind of this big flap that flaps over this. So you could kind of lift up the special ops package, but it's sewn to the top side right there is how it hangs down. We can show that more in another video, but what we're gonna do now for this driver backrest is start to fit this on. Pull this over. Like that right there. Now, one of the first things that I will do is take these headrest posts and trim these out. I wanted to make sure you see a close-up on how to do this. You're gonna take your plastic trim tool, you're gonna work it around these headrest posts, or it's kind of a base for the post. You're working it around and then tucking that underneath. Okay, and that's how you get that really nice trimmed flush look, is when you finish them out like that. I mean, functionally you could use it like this without doing that, but it's a whole lot better if you trim it out. You just work that around like that. And tuck it in. You can see a little bit of that blue foam sticking out. That's that foam backing that goes on all the seating areas of the seat cover. Okay, so I'm tucking that in right there. That's great. Now I need to fold this back up here, and what I'll do now is start to tuck this cover into the plastic right here. Okay, again, this is called the open back pattern, and because the back side is open like this. Now you can still, again, you can still order the special ops package if you're thinking about that. It still works great on these. But if you know, this particular set, the customer did not order the special ops package, so there's just no pockets on the back side here, so he just wanted to have access to his normal pockets and the grid system back here, this little MOLLE grid system. So I'm going to take this and just keep working it in right there. Now I'm going to need to move the seat back so I can get a little bit better access to some of this here. Now you're going to notice when I'm finishing this off at the bottom here, there's gonna be a little bit of a seat cover fabric that kind of just goes straight down. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and you're just gonna get this little bit of flap. It just kind of comes straight down with it. That's just exactly how it's supposed to be. You want to line this seam up with this side of the plastic right there, and then it's just going to continue on and just kind of go straight down with it right there. Okay, perfect. So I'll just do that same thing to this other side, finish that out, and then we'll be able to take the front side and push it through the seat. We're gonna take this driver backrest and take the front side now and pass it through. And you can see that there's a felt, kind of carpet, felt sheet here. And that needs to be passed through, and then we're gonna stick it down to the Velcro that was sewn on the top side of this bottom cover. So they integrate together like that. But to get this started, what I'm gonna do is really make sure that I'm pulling it nice and tight right here. And then I'm gonna take this and start to pass it through. Now, I'm just gonna get it started right here, because then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this up. All of a sudden that gives us a lot more space. And you know what? I'm actually just gonna fold it up again. Just take out any extra slack that's in there. And I'm gonna pass this through like this and push it through right there. Okay, to the other side underneath there. So that's actually the better position. I was thinking that I could get it with the backrest down, but having the backrest up is actually the way to go. And now I'm passing that through and having it folded in half, like that felt folded in half, pushing that through made it so it wasn't sticking to that Velcro right away. And now when I start to pass this back, we'll see if we can show you this view. Is I'm gonna take this felt and stick it down to this Velcro and back here. So there's that felt right there. We're gonna take that and then stick it down. We'll show you a better view in a sec. Now that I have this felt pulled through, I'm gonna take one hand right here and pull this felt, and my left hand that you can't see right now, I'm pushing on the front side of the cover just to take out any extra slack, and then make sure I give this a nice, good pull on all sides along it. You know, I don't want just the middle pulled through. I really want the whole cover laying flat. And go through this, so both sides, give them nice pulls. And now what I'm gonna do is give it one last pull and then stick it down to this Velcro that's underneath there. Stick it on there, give it a nice, good stick, and then that's it for the backrest. And now that we have that stuck down, we can release this strap right here, and then take this and hook these back on those plastic little hooks that they were hooked on before, so then that stays on. And you just gotta kind of feel underneath here to find where those hooks were located. Yeah, I just found one. There on this Gladiator, they're white hooks, so if you look underneath your seat, there's one of these white hooks that hold up these. So I'll reach underneath here. Clip on that one, and now it's time to do the headrest. Now we're going to work on the headrest cover. So here's the headrest, and this one, the front covers on this. Actually, if you look at them, they are longer towards the back side, so they're a little bit shorter towards the front. And you can see that's how that kind of matches up right there. Now this one's very easy to tell because customer ordered Velcro patches, so a 2x3 Velcro patch that he can put on morale patches on, and so that would also identify the front side. So what we can do now is we'll fit this over and we'll compress the seat cushion, or the seat headrest, down with one hand and then pull it down with the other like that. You just kind of work that on. You just do a couple inches at a time. There we go. Now we're getting it on. Okay, now I need to shift this around. I kind of rotated a little bit too far to one side. So what I'll do is, to shift it, you just take the whole cover and kind of roll it like that. You just kind of roll the whole thing as one piece together. Okay, those lines are now matching up a lot better. Stick that Velcro on, that Velcro patch on a little bit better. Okay. Now we do sell these. This is our Covers Camo Velcro patch. It's a PVC patch. If you'd like to order that, and that's separate. That's separate from just the 2x3 Velcro patch that's sewn onto your headrest. This is another accessory. So you could get your own morale patches, or you could order some of ours if you'd like to have the American flag with the elk head on it. It's kind of a nice looking patch. We think so. Okay, great. So the headrest is done now, and it's time to just put this back into the backrest. I put that headrest back in now, and you can see it turned out really nice. And now what you're gonna wanna do is do all those same steps to the passenger side now. Okay, that's just gonna, and we already did it today, we already did the passenger side, but it's the exact same steps that we did here on the driver's side. Now the next thing we're going to show you is how to install the rear seats, and we're going to do the 60 section. This is a split seat on this seat, or on this rear seat, and we'll show you that one here now. We're going to do the 60 section backrest first. We've already installed the 40 section backrest, so you can see that one on already. So first thing that we're going to do on the 60 section backrest is we need to remove this center headrest, and you have to press both buttons in and then just slide that out. Pull that out here, and we're going to set that aside for now. Then here's the cover for the backrest. We need to open up the Velcro. Okay, and we are going to go right in front of the seatbelt, right there. Okay. So we're going in front of the seatbelt, and then we're going to pull this forward right here. Now this headrest does not remove, so don't even attempt that. It's a fixed headrest. So that one's gonna stay on. And the seat cover has accommodations for that. And get this lined up a little bit right there. Now what we're gonna do right here is get this around. Now you can see the seat cover's already been installed once. We've stretched it around once before, but we're going to stretch it around again and tuck it underneath. Again, it was a couple years ago when we put this one on the first time on the 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Now we're putting it on the 2022. So we got that first one on there, great. Now we're going to stretch this around. Get this on this one here. Now it looks like we may have slit that a little bit. Sometimes these are really tight when it's the canvas fabric. This Kryptek Typhon is in the canvas, and that can be really tight to get that on. So sometimes we'll make a little slit in the seat cover to assist with that. But since we had already stretched them over, that was really simple and easy to get that on right now. Okay, so now the next step is going to be fitting on this other shoulder. And so I'm going to pull this around, this cover around here. Now again, this headrest is not removed, so you're going to be taking the cover and slipping through the pieces here that work around the headrest. Okay, so there we go. Got that. Here's this piece that went around the seatbelt section. And so this has Velcro on both sides actually. So what you'll do is take this, stick that down right there, and line that up best as you can with that line right there. Then this one's gonna lay down here, and then this piece is gonna come over both of them. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this piece, and I gotta straighten out this front. Pull this down now. I'm gonna push this through the seat crevice between the two seats towards the back. There we go. Okay, so that's getting pulled through right there. So now on the back side, we can pull this up now. This felt flap is going to attach onto that Velcro on the back side here. I'm just kind of massaging this down, just kind of working that cover down to see if I can line that up a little better. Okay, so we get these two pieces connected now. And again, it's nice if you can take one hand and push on the front side. As you pull right here, and stick that down right there. Pushing on the front side just helps to kind of get any extra slack out of the front. Okay, so that's looking good there. I need to get these two lined up a little better. Really trying to pull these two together as tight as I can. They line up pretty close to each other there. That's looking really good on the back side right now. Give that a solid pull right there. Stick that down right there. There we go. Okay, nice. That's looking really good right there. So then, you can check out this front side. That's looking nice and tight. And we got good coverage. Just making sure that I got it all pulled over to each side right there. Perfect, okay. That looks awesome. The seatbelt, again, I've had a few people put the seat cover over the seatbelt right there. Just make sure you slide it underneath as you start that install. Now we're gonna do the 60 section bottom. We're working on the 60 section bottom now. First thing I'm gonna do is actually lift this seat up. These pretty simple where this just pulls up right here. And I'm folding this Velcro inside out to get it started because I don't want that Velcro catching on the bottom here. And I've opened up all the Velcro that was attached to itself. Get that started right there. Just get this pulled down on the top. Okay, so just gotta pull this one down a little bit more to get some of this extra slack out at the top. But we're getting there a little bit more and we'll be good to go. Okay, that's looking much better. Now, one thing you can do is just kind of massage over the seat cover and the seat to get this to lay as flat as possible, like that, and that can really help get things on. Now, this one, it is going to stick directly to this carpet, okay? So what I'll do before I stick this side down, I'm gonna take this Velcro on the side and stick that down. But even before that, it's always good to like line up your, make sure the top is all looking good and that you don't have a, you know, one side that's pulled too far forward. You know, things are lining up good there with the child seat ISOFIX attachments. So what I'll do here now is take this Velcro and fold this around right there and then stick that on. Perfect. Just like that. And then this one over here has this other little piece of side of Velcro. Roll that around and stick that on right there. Okay. So now I'm going to take these guys, just pull it down nice and tight, each area. It's so nice having this bottom coverage under here, because if you have these seats up and your dogs are back here, or you're carrying some gear that got dirty, or you're throwing in, you know, your boots or whatever, and it gets dirty underneath here, it's so much easier to wipe this down than that carpet. If that carpet gets mud on it, it's such a hassle to clean that. So very nice having that bottom coverage. Okay, so now what we need to do is take these top pieces, and these are just gonna fold into the seat crevice here and stick down to the cloth. And what we're gonna do is line these ISOFIXes up so that I'm not stretching this like too far back, because we're gonna do a little special install with this ISOFIX here in a second. Okay, so those are lined up pretty good right there. So what I'm gonna do is just take like one hand and hold down, and take the other hand and roll that around, and then it's gonna stick onto the carpet. That's on the back side of this. So you just roll it down, roll it back, and it sticks right on. Okay, perfect. Now we'll do the same thing with this one, right here. Okay, nice. Perfect, so we got that. Now I could probably pull this back a little more. I have it a little taut right there. It's not quite setting into the seat, whereas these I did good with pushing that in right there. I might adjust that a little bit later, but we won't need to show you that on the camera. But that's pretty much how you do that. Just roll that back. But it's nice if you hold one hand right there to kind of keep that down on the seat a little bit better. Okay, the next piece is a special install. Now you would be just fine leaving it like this, and it's gonna work great. You can still use the child seat attachments. It gives you great coverage and everything. Now, this is a special install that I'm gonna do here, where I actually tuck these tuck this behind the ISOFIX plastic. Now, you just word of caution, if you're doing this, you have to do it real careful not to break or chip your ISOFIX plastic right here. So this is something that really probably should be done by a, well, I'll say it, that this part should be done by a professional installer. So if you are out here in Utah, you guys want to have us put these on for you, or if you want to call us and ask us if we know of a professional installer near you, we can line you up with them. But you want to be careful here, because you can, when you're doing pieces like this, you can sometimes break the plastic, and you may just want to skip this piece if you're worried about that. Skip that part skip this part of the install, and you're going to be just fine. It's going to be functional and work just great without it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time working this around. You kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. And I'm going to take my time working that in, and it takes a little while to get it in there, because you just have to keep working that material in and underneath. But if you're doing a professional install like what I'm doing right now, you can get it underneath there and around. It just takes some time. So I'm gonna finish this out, and then I'll show you at the tail end what it's looking like. So I want to show you now that we've finished the tucking the fabric around the ISOFIX child seat bar attachments. Now this is very difficult. Difficulty level 10 out of 10, guys. So I don't recommend this, honestly. I had to even use like 2 tools, putting it underneath. Very difficult to do this. It looks awesome, but unless if you're a professional installer, and experienced with putting our seat covers on, I would recommend not doing that and just leaving it. You know, that hole is going to function just perfectly as it was made before that. And we've tucked this underneath. Looks nice, but I would say professional install only. It took me an additional 10-15 minutes just to do that, these ISOFIX pieces. And again, looks nice, but just leave that to a professional install if you want to do that. Now we're going to do the headrest cover, and it's going to go on like this. Since we can't take these ones off, we just have to fit them on like this while they're inside the vehicle here. And what can be helpful is if you, once you get it started, you can kind of roll the cover side to side, and that'll help it roll down a little bit. Now you'll notice on these Gladiators, on the outside there's a button to press, and there's going to be a cutout for that button. So you need to make sure you line up the cover with the button on the outside there. So here's that rolling technique that you can do, kind of sliding the cover down like that. Okay. And you kind of finish capping this over around the back here. Okay, and then I'm just going to show you a side view of the headrest to finish out around that button right there. Now here's this button that I was talking about earlier, and what you're going to want to do is push that around that piece right there, so then it finishes out like that, nice and flush. It looks really good right there. So then I can move the headrest back down, back up. Okay, so the last piece we have now is the rear middle headrest cover. So let's get this one on. And this cover has this front faceplate right here. And then the backside has this kind of curved section right there. And it goes on like that right there. So that front faceplate is kind of the biggest piece of material for this front. And we'll just compress that cushion down here. Get this over. Okay, so I'm just forming this around, making sure that it's fitting on how I want it to. Okay, so that's looking good right there. So there's the front side, what that'll look like, okay? Just kind of the top, side view, and the back, how that should look finished out right there. And you just try to get it to form over as symmetrical as possible on each side there. That's looking pretty good right there. So what we'll do is slide this back in. No Velcro patch on that center headrest. We don't do any logos or Velcro patches on center headrest. There's just typically not enough space, and we don't offer that. So anyhow, now that's the rear seat is done. We already did the 40 section, did the 60 back and bottom. Headrests are all done. Sweet. So we are all wrapped up with this install. Good job. If you've done that install, give us a call. If you need any help through it, happy to help you. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching this video. Again, this has been Neil here with Covers and Camo, your source for custom seat covers. We offer seat covers for trucks, Jeeps, SUVs, cars, and side-by-sides. If you have a vehicle that you want to get seat covers on, you got to check out coversandcamo.com. There's lots of sets to see, different options that you can do, and be sure to check out the custom options to store your guns and gear. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. The place to go to is coversandcamo.com. Thanks.